right, we're back today at Skies, where we're working on this extra cab short bed truck that we're naming Big Stubby, mostly because it's ridiculous. We have it sitting on 37s right now. And I think this thing can clear a 42 easy all day long. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about the Ford ball joint Dana 60 crossover steering conversion that we're wrapping up on this truck. Well, we've got everything installed, and pretty much I'm just going to kind of go through it on the truck, show you how it sits, and then we're going to get started on the next project. If you need any of these parts, check us out, skyesoffroaddesign.com. We do the knuckle machining, make the steering arms, the drag links, all the stuff you need to do this conversion. We also have all the extra pieces that you might need, like a crossover steering panhard kit. But yeah, let's get into it here. Take a look really quick at what we've got going on so we can get to the next project and get this thing running and driving. Well, actually it runs, it just doesn't drive. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, well, we're back at it this afternoon, working on the Big Stubby. And we've got our parts laid out in front of me. I can't see right now because the phone won't go to that point, but we're gonna touch on that here in a second. But we are in the process of doing the crossover steering conversion, which in reality Ford's crossover steering anyway. The drag link goes from one side to the other. It's not a push-pull like a Chevy or a Dodge. So the whole nomenclature about it being crossover steering is kind of one of those iffy things where you kind of really got to say it's over the springs crossover steering. And that's what we're doing here. So I'm going to move the camera back here so we can see the table. We're going to go over the parts we're using for this operation. Right back at you. So here we have our knuckle machined. We've already pressed our new ball joints in. This is our 5-stud, uses Dana 44 studs, keyed knuckle. We have our steering arm, keyed, 5-stud, knuckle washers, set up for a true high steer system where you can take the tie rod up above as well. And our factory pitman arm. We'll be replacing the big drop pitman arm on this truck because it's not going to get it. Studs, conical washers, stover nuts. Short side of the stud goes in the knuckle, not the long side. We have had a few people that are calling and saying, "Ah, my studs aren't long enough," and it's usually that they got put in backwards. So we have our drag links. This is our standard steel DLM link. We've been making these for like 25 years. Great, nothing wrong with them. But lately, we've started doing 70-75 links. Why? Well, 70-75 aluminum's lighter. 70-75 aluminum is stronger in an 1.5-inch configuration. And you can polish it to make it look cool. These will also be coming in or be available in our track bar kits so that your track bar and your drag link look the same if you want the aluminum option. On this truck, we're going to use the aluminum option because, you know, it's a no expenses shop project. We can do whatever we want. So we'll be using the 70-75 bar on this for the steering link, the drag link, as well as the track bar. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the axle really quick, where we're at with what point, and go from there. I do want to touch base on our ball joints. These are something we use stock. These are a lifetime joint, which basically means that it's got like a 50,000-mile warranty. We've had really good luck with them. We run them on all of our trucks that we're doing now. They're better, I think, than Moogs. We used to use only Moogs, but they started wearing out so fast that, like, even a 35-inch tire, that we just couldn't rely on it. So we're gonna take a look at what's under the truck here, and we'll be right back. Basically, you're gonna be down to the C's on these axles when you have everything apart before you put the knuckle on. And we got our pitman arm hanging down over there right now. And that's pretty much where we're at to start installing everything. We're gonna go ahead and put the knuckle on after we get the arm on the knuckle, and then we reinstall the spindle, brake brackets, put the brakes together, all that good stuff. And we'll get our drag link on here. Hopefully take this thing for a test drive not too far off and see how much better it steers. All right, once again, got all our parts here. Got the knuckle machined. Got the new ball joints pressed into it. It's got the steering arm, standard height arm. We do make a taller one. Really, you're only needing that if you've got some mega thick leaf springs. There's really no super big gain to the steering angle, like the correction of the angle. Stock pitman arm, studs, drag links in both the DOM steel 7075 option. And another thing we should touch base on, check your taper in here when you pull your tie rod off. If that taper's bad, you need to get a taper cert and get that in there. That's another option we've been working on for quite some time that we've been selling tons of over the years. It seems like Ford's knuckles were just not really up to par on that. So we will get this project rolling here and get together, and so we can't get the old white short bed extra cab up and steering. All right, so we got our project truck going together here. Basically what we've got is our drag link on here. We got our no drop pitman arm, and we got our knuckle all on here and secured. Studs, there's a couple ways you can install them. There's a stud installer technique, or you can double nut it. Another way to do that is a 9/16 high nut while the cap at the top of it. That'll work pretty well too. Ball joints, they're in, they're torqued. Truck's sitting here. We have it hanging, and that drag link is dangerously close to flat with a non-drop pitman arm. So we're going to go ahead, get this thing put all the way back together and get her on the ground. All right, we're back today at Skies, where we're working on this extra cab short bed truck that we're naming Big Stubby, mostly because it's ridiculous. We have it sitting on 37s right now, and I think this thing can clear a 42 easy all day. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for to talk about the Ford ball joint Dana 60 crossover steering conversion that we're wrapping up on this truck. Well, we've got everything installed, and pretty much I'm just going to kind of go through it on the truck, show you how it sits, and then we're going to get started on the next project. If you need any of these parts, check us out, skyesoffroaddesign.com. We do the knuckle machining, make the steering arms, the drag links, all the stuff you need to do this conversion. We also have all the extra pieces that you might need, like a crossover steering panhard kit. But yeah, let's get into it here. Take a look really quick at what we've got going on so we can get to the next project and get this thing running and driving. Well, actually it runs, it just doesn't drive. So that's what we're gonna do. Got our pitman arm over here on the driver's side. Connected to the drag link. Goes over here to the knuckle that we machined with the steering arm. And that's pretty much all there is to it. One thing we always get people like, oh, how much backspacing can I run? This is a -12. And I believe these are 20x9. So they actually dangerously close to fit. That's a terrible. Take a look at that. That's a little bad. Tie rod end almost fits in the wheel. So you could get away with a little more backspace than that and still be okay. Basically it's nice and flat. It's a good angle. Much better than factory. Once we get the track bar in there, we'll really have something to work with here. But basically everything there is to it. And we're gonna work on the track bar next. So I've already got some of the pieces in here, but we're gonna do a little video about all the pieces that need to go with this. And we're gonna put it in. We're gonna drive this thing. Probably get a little video here on how big this thing sits. This is not on the lift. This is a 37, what we believe are 6-inch springs. And yeah, it's got a 2-inch body lift. That's terrible. And we will be replacing this with a new spring set and a shock reversal here shortly. Right now we're just trying to get this thing together the best we can. So, now the lift's in the way. We'll get her off the lift and get a good video here at some point of that too, but right now this is where we're sitting. Once again, Skies Off-Road Design.
You've got all your Ford parts.